Hello commanders, welcome back to another battle. In today's battle we have a regular PvP battle. So, as always I'm starting with the scouting while developing my base, so let's just skip the boring parts. The battle is happening on the Forgotten Post map, and as you know, or as you can see, it's a really big map. So I will have to produce way more assaults than usually to scout almost the entire map. So let's skip through these boring parts and let me show you something. And as you can see, I found this assault here, which meant I was probably scouting a little bit better. As you can see, I have scouted basically half of the map, if you take a look at the minimap. And he just came here with just one assault. So I basically have a few more containers than him. But anyways, let's continue with the scouting. I decided to also make one assault vehicle factory while upgrading to HQ level 2. And then I decided it would be better to scout the enemy to see what kind of base he has. So I sent two assaults, or rather two riflemen there, and hit them, or I will hide them in the bushes. Sadly this one for some reason decided to die, but I still hid two assaults here. And so now I was focused on this container here. I moved a few assaults, or rather riflemen, and also moved one coyote. Where is it? It's not there yet. Oh, yeah, there it is. And one coyote. Yeah, this assault tried to collect the container but had no chance. Anyways, I was still scouting a little bit. As you can see, this place isn't scouted yet, and I decided to send this rifleman there, scout mainly this part back here, and maybe take another look at his base. Anyways, I was collecting resources and trying to go for HQ3. In my opinion, it's probably better to go while you have 5 supply centers, but I just wanted to have the tech advantage. So I decided to hide some riflemen in random bushes of the map to have more control over the map and the game itself. And I retreated like 5 riflemen here just for some base defense. And I also made a sniper tower and decided to build more supply centers and power plants. As you can see, I scouted the enemy again, and he seems to be going for heavy assaults and some fortresses. I didn't show this, but there was a small army of assaults attacking my coyote, so I had to retreat. Anyways, that seemed to be a small rush, so I decided to make more riflemen here. Didn't manage to make some coyotes because it was upgrading, but I had one sniper tower and I was pretty confident. But just in case, I made one more sniper tower just to be completely safe. And let's see the rush that the enemy made. As you can see, it's not much of a rush, it's like 10 assaults max. And I was pretty confident I could defend it because I had almost 10 riflemen, a sniper tower, and an entire coyote. So this was an easy defense. And yeah, let's see this fight. Yeah, pretty easy fight, easily defended. Seems he had some heavy assaults as well. But anyways, now it was time to produce some more units, and I was going for Assault Vehicle Factory level 3 to get some Jaguars out. While that was happening, my enemy was still producing some units, but also building some bunkers, and as we can see, he made another Assault Vehicle Factory to mass produce some vehicles. Anyways, I left a coyote in the middle just to be safe. For example, if my enemy tried to attack me, I could know like a minute earlier, so I could prepare some defensive towers and maybe more units. Anyways, I hid my almost basically every assault here, made them not attack, be passive, and just to be able to surprise my enemy. If he attacks, I can kinda surround him with my riflemen here. Anyways, I'm collecting this super container here with my coyote, and there seems to be no hostility by my enemy. I don't know if that's a word, but anyways. I decided to upgrade my barracks to level 2, get some grenadiers out, and also make an Evia factory, mainly to produce some jets. And I decided to scout my enemy with one of the riflemen, but I had to retreat because there was a fortress here. Anyways, I managed to see that my enemy was going for HQ level 3, which kinda scared me, but I was pretty confident I could defend since I already had 2 Jaguars. Anyways, I also made some Grenadiers here to be able to damage some of the fortresses easily. Anyways, I was producing Jaguars, Grenadiers, making some upgrades to my base, but then there was another rush. This time it was full of heavy assaults and like 2 assaults. But I was pretty confident I could defend even without my rifleman army, but still I sent them just in case. And this was a pretty small rush, more of a scout of some sorts, but I easily defended it. After that, I made an airfield and started producing some jets. Also producing some riflemen, or rather Jaguars. I don't know why I confused those two, they're completely different. But then I didn't notice in time and my Coyote got destroyed by some sort of army. I wasn't sure what that was. But then I was prepared, I positioned my Jaguars in a pretty good position and it was time to fight. I also had 2 jets and a lot of infantry here, a few heavy assaults and mainly riflemen. As you can see, he's producing more hammers and fortresses. So let's keep forward to see what happens. As you can see, I was planning to send my infantry on a small rush, but then I saw this entire army here, so I got pretty scared. But it wasn't that big of a deal. When you look at it, it was mainly fortresses, which could easily be killed with Jaguars. I had 40 and also had a lot of jets, 3 to be exact, so this was a pretty easy defense. I'm gonna be honest, maybe just the infantry itself could have defended that, but I just wanted to be safe. Then I decided to send my jets for a counter-attack of some sorts, maybe destroy a bunker or 2. So let's see the damage they did. And then I decided to retarget my Hawks to attack some of their units like heavy assaults and hammers to lower their army, and then I decided to send my infantry here, to be exact, the heavy assaults and riflemen, to collect this container and then maybe try to go for a simple rush, destroy a supply center or power plant, while making some more Jaguars and also some porcupines. Actually, I never made porcupines, I went straight for mammoths for some reason. But anyways, I had a full set of Hawks, and then I decided to go attack him with the riflemen and the infantry itself. But then I decided that instead of defending this point, I'm gonna attack my enemy with the Jaguars, go full attack. Mainly the infantry was for a distraction and the Jaguars were the main force. I also had my jets, which could slowly but surely defend this base and also be a great support for the fight. So I decided to send my army there. It was a full-on attack, but then this happened. There was a sneaky army from blue here, but my riflemen probably saved this game almost, because I predicted this attack. Not really predicted, but I knew about this attack 10 seconds before it struck, which was really important because I could, instead of wasting the Hawks' fuel capacity on attacking, I could use them for defense. As you can see, they're already turning around. So I decided not to wait any longer and just send my infantry in for the fighting. I thought this was a small squadron, but then I saw the entire army coming, so I knew I had to defend my base while also attacking. But I was still waiting for my Jaguars to come. I didn't want to retreat my Jaguars because I wanted to completely destroy the enemy with a smart counter-attack, in my opinion. I was completely full with command points, as you can see down there. I wasn't able to produce any units, but I was upgrading my HQ. And I decided to make, instead of some defensive towers here, spam some barracks just to slow down the enemy's pace. While that was happening, the Jaguars were basically at the enemy base, so I decided to go full on attack. And as you can see, the enemy had no army back at the base. This was his entire army, which was getting melted by the Hawks. They sadly had to refuel, but still, I was slowly but surely defeating my enemy. He only had a few assaults and a fortress, so this was an easy easy attack. But he still had a few units left in the attack, so he started destroying my barracks and I just knew I had to waste his time as much as possible, just spam the barrage. Then the infantry squad started attacking, easily destroying these two tanks, and the Jaguars were melting the enemy base from the front. After that, I used a recovery boost for the Hawks, or rather fuel recovery boost, I don't know how it's called, to recover them quickly, and once they were recovered, this defense was pretty easy. I basically destroyed the entire army in just 2 minutes with just Hawks, and now I was pretty free to destroy his base, and this was an easy game. I was really scared I would lose because of this attack. I was seriously considering retreating my Jaguars, but I decided to go for a full-on counter-attack, which paid off. This was an easy battle, easy-ish. But anyways, this was the main fight. Now the enemy had no chance against me. And let's just enjoy how I'm destroying his base. Yes, that was it. Pretty easy game. And yeah, honestly the game went pretty well. Probably could have rushed my enemy before actually getting attacked, but the game was pretty easy. I had a lot of Hawks which were carrying my defenses, and overall I think I played that game really well. Anyways, I hope you liked the battle, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.